So, your girl, Joy Taylor, she's been definitely caught in a lot of scandals. Your girl, Joy Taylor, has a take on a lot of you men out here who's single. And, there is a epidemic of men being single and not having no woman. And a lot of incels out here are created. And incels are very dangerous to any society. But let's go ahead on and check out what Joy Taylor says the solution could be for the American incel.
Rolling back of women's rights and this push that women have somehow created this world where there's too much equality and we can make choices about when we have children, and the marriage rates are dropping because nobody wants to fucking deal with a cheating alcoholic man when you can just get your own apartment. Yeah. Guys are lonely. Men in these fucking caves that would never touch a woman in their life anyway have convinced themselves that OnlyFans models are curving them because they sent them $5. Yeah. It is this attack on femininity. It's not about masculinity.
Right. But let me ask you a question about the incels. Do you think the incels, do you care about the loneliness of the incel?
I think that male loneliness is a massive fucking problem.
Okay, so
It is a problem. It's becoming a problem worldwide, actually. Not only in America, I saw a whole story out of Japan that a lot of those men are lonely too. They're staying in the room. They're not coming out. They're playing video games, etc. And I tell a lot of men that you got to get outside, bro. You got to hit the pavement a little bit. I say, of course, we're not gonna do what women do, like just get in little groups and doing no. But I tell men to travel. Travel this United States. I'm not saying you got to go international. I mean, of course, you want to go international. It's great. But like, for instance, just over the weekend, I went to Columbus, Ohio. That was my first time going up there. I had a great time at the Ohio Black Expo because I was invited up there, for some stuff that we were doing. And, Columbus was cool. The people was cool. So like I said, move around. I'll tell men that you never know who you'll meet, traveling. Because sometimes you may not meet nobody in your city. But if you go to another state, maybe even another city in your state, you never know who you may meet.
I think non-getting male lonelies are deteriorating society. Yes, I think it's a massive problem.
What do you think the fix is?
One, I think we should legalize prostitution.
Okay.
I have been standing on this for decades, and I think that prostitution should be legalized.
Okay.
They will never do this, but that I think would be a massive solve.
Massive solve. Okay.
One.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Ask follow-ups.
No. Follow-up is what, because that's a temporary loneliness fix, although it's effective. What would be a long-term fix to bringing people back together? What do you think? Okay.
So while it's a temporary fix, right, and many people will have some retorts to this, of course. It's not a simple solve. Mm-hmm. But I believe that straight male biology, and particularly men who have this sort of anger, is because they don't get physical intimacy, right? But they have convinced themselves the type of physical intimacy they would like is, their favorite porn star or favorite OnlyFans girl or this unattainable beauty on Instagram who is never, ever, ever, ever going to you or meet you or talk to you ever. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yes, in the short term, if they would legalize, prostitution, yes, that will solve some of the problem. It would. That legalization would actually be more beneficial to high net worth individuals, those men, because now those men don't have to be married. Those men, they can just, pay for it. They can do whatever they want to do. I mean, they already paying for it now, but it'd be legal to pay for it. Let me say that much. A lot of men are paying, okay? You can say whatever you want to say. A lot of men are paying, and a lot of men don't care about paying. The only thing is the United States government, they're going to want to get they cut out of it. And right now, they're not getting their cut out of it. So right now, it is illegal. And then also, you can have some human trafficking involved with some of that too. So, but buying it, that doesn't fix the loneliness aspect. After you buy it, after you have your physical intimacy, with this woman, right? You're still going back to an empty house. you're still back. You're still lonely. Yeah, you may have got your rocks off, but you're still lonely, bruh. And that's why, because a lot of men want a traditional family, but they can't get that in America because of the way America is. That's why I tell men, if you really want someone traditional, you really going to have a hard time in the United States. That's going to be like a needle in a haystack, to be honest with you. In this country, it's going to be a needle in a haystack. So that's why I tell dudes, you really want a woman that's traditional, you got to go to a nation that's built off of traditional values. And this country is definitely not it.
So they don't look for the physical intimacy that is around them. They don't go outside of their home. They don't go down to the local library. They don't go to their local bar. They don't go join a social group in order to meet people because they feel that this fucking beautiful 10, whatever, is going to walk through their fucking front door and suck their and that's never going to happen. But they sit there scrolling like, hey, in the DMs, and they believe then that the women are not responding to them because of feminism.
Well, Joy, I mean, you kind of talking about yourself in some instances, Joy, because, they be jumping in your DM saying that too. We know Joy's history of, messing around with executives and stuff like that. So, Joy just kind of projecting maybe just a little bit. Because, maybe Joy would say, shoot, I'll start tricking if it's legal. If I can get some of these high net worth individuals and get them to pay me, well, shoot, why not? But that doesn't solve the problem. I think what will solve the problem is family creation. That's what's going to solve the problem of loneliness, right? And the only way you could really do it, unless, you get someone that's just not Americanized, and if you do get some people in America, you may hit the lottery if you meet a traditional woman. At best, you may get half traditional, half modern. That's about the best I think you'll be able to get. You know what I'm saying? One is rare. I say the traditional, the half traditional, half modern. You may can get that. I would say more so in the South, I think. But when you go to places like California, New York, you're going to deal with modern. And a lot of men are turned off from modern. It turned off. So either you kind of look for that half traditional, half modern, or just traditional in America. If you can't get that, you need to go to countries that have a traditional family value system. Because God himself said it's not good for man to be alone. He said that. And we don't know more than God. That's why men are getting angry and upset, because you're not meant to be alone. You're not. So you need to, but you also, she's right. You're not going to have no woman show up at your doorstep. You got to get your behind up and go out there and hit the pavement and find the woman that you're supposed to be with. Because didn't the scriptures teach he who finds a wife? You got to go find it. You're not going to find it sitting in your house on the internet. You're just not going to find it like that. And even if you do meet a woman on the internet, you're still going to have to go outside your house to meet her. You still going to have to go outside your house to go on a date or whatever. She don't want to go sit up in your crib and not do nothing. So regardless how you meet them, you still got to go outside. So brush yourself up, get out there, find your